Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of my thoughts on grocery pickup, whether that's Walmart, Kroger, wherever you would want to do grocery pickup, and kind of whether or not I think it's worth it or if you should just keep buying them yourselves. So let's get right into them. Okay, so I have this broken into a list of pros and cons. And if you've seen some of my other videos, I have talked about grocery pickup before, but never really in this much depth. So the main pro that I have for grocery pickup is honestly, it saves me so much time. I love that instead of just writing a grocery list, like writing my grocery list is adding the groceries to my cart. So essentially, you're taking the same amount of time as you would take to write up a grocery list. It's just that's doing the actual shopping for you. And for me, that is a huge benefit of grocery pickup. So that is like my number one pro. The second reason that I really like grocery pickup is because it really helps me stay on budget. I can see exactly what my groceries are going to cost me as I'm adding them to the cart, and I can add or take away as needed. I have a set grocery budget every week, and so if the groceries for the meals that I have planned for that week don't equal the entire budget, then I can add some of like my pantry stocking items and reach that budget, and like I know exactly where I'm at, or if I went over on something, I know that immediately. Another pro that I have for grocery pickup is I avoid impulse purchasing. They do kind of try to get you, like when you're checking out of your online order, they will say like, did you miss these things? And they'll like show you a list, and like sometimes like that's essentially the same thing. It's like, oh, that looks good. But for the most part, I can stop impulse purchasing because I have a tendency of going to the grocery store hungry. I don't know if it's just because I go to the grocery store and that makes me hungry, even if I wasn't hungry, but I just always seem to be hungry at the grocery store. And so I will throw tons of snacks and stuff that I honestly don't even remember that most of them exist if I'm not actually in the physical store. The other pro that I have for it is that we recently somehow, some way can get groceries delivered now. Like I live out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm still completely shocked that we can get groceries delivered, but somehow we can. Like I can't get a pizza delivered, but I can get my groceries delivered. So I don't know how exactly that makes sense, especially since there's a Domino's in the Walmart. So I don't really. But anyway, so when I can have groceries delivered, I am a Walmart Plus subscription holder for right now. I'm relatively new to it, so I'm just kind of seeing how I like it as opposed to like Amazon Prime. And as a Walmart Plus subscription holder, the delivery of the groceries is free. I believe it's like $8 where I'm at if you're not a Prime member, but then they do want you to tip your driver, or they request that you tip your driver just like you would like a pizza delivery driver. So that does add to the expense. So the convenience of having the groceries dropped off at your house sometimes do outweigh paying the extra for a delivery fee, in my opinion, because there are some weeks when, like I said, I live in the middle of nowhere. So there are some weeks that I'm not actually going to town. And so the only reason that I'm leaving is to go get groceries. And if it's a really busy week or there's a lot of things that I want to be getting done around the house, it is just worth it for me to have the groceries delivered. I say this as I have only had the groceries delivered once because literally, like, we have just, like, they just expanded it, or I don't know what exactly happened, but they, like, we just now got grocery delivered. So I've only had it done once. Um, because I just figured it out like 2 weeks ago that we could have these delivered. So, only done it once. It was a good experience. But all of those pros said, let's get into some cons of grocery pickup, because as much as I say good things about grocery pickup, and I do grocery pickup quite often, there are some negatives. So, the first negative is one that I actually get asked all the time, and that is about produce when you're doing grocery pickup, because obviously if you're just putting it in and you're having somebody else do your shopping for you, you don't get to look at the produce that you get. And I will say there have been a handful of times that the produce has not been great. Like I never in a million years would have picked, that package of blueberries to purchase. I will say that I have been doing grocery pickup for approximately 5 years, I think. I think it's been like 5 years, and there have only been a handful, if that, of times where the produce has not been the greatest. And I am not super, super picky when it comes to my produce. All right, the next con that I have is substitutions. And if the item that you put in your cart is out of stock, they will send you a thing that asks you to make substitutions. And you have a certain amount of time where you can accept or reject the substitutions. If you don't respond, they take that as an automatic acceptance. And so I always try to get to the substitutions. I don't always get to the substitutions. Most of the time they're good. Like most of the time, like if I got the Great Value brand, they will give me the name brand of it or whatever. And now there have been a handful of times where I do not want the substitution. And it has been on random things where it's like they were completely out of all of the different kinds. So it's like they gave me a random thing that wasn't close. That's happened one or two times. But substitutions kind of bother me. And if they can't find anything close, they just say out of stock and do not replace it. And there have been times when I have gotten an out of stock when there is something that could easily take its place. And in those cases, I will go pick up my groceries and then I go into the store as well to get the missed items. That is the biggest con to me, because the whole point of me ordering my groceries is to not have to go into the grocery store. Now, this does not happen every single time. But when it does happen, I'm literally like, I might as well have just gotten my own groceries like while I'm in here, even though like I go in and I grab one thing and it takes like 5 minutes, but still, like it feels like it defeats the purpose. Again, doesn't happen every single time, but when it does happen, huge turn off. The third thing is something that is honestly probably, like I said, I've been doing it 5 or 6 years. It's probably happened twice, and that is you do occasionally get a missed item. And that is just where if you have a really big order and you have having similar items is where I've had it happen, or buying multiple of the same thing is where I have seen it. When I have seen it, like I said, it has only been a couple times. And it's been like I ordered two and I only got one, or I got 6 different kinds of berries and they only gave me 5. Like, doesn't happen very often. Again, it's just annoying because then you get home and you don't have the thing. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's a huge pain, especially for me who has to drive pretty far to get to a grocery store. I will say, in the event that that does happen, it is a very easy process to get refunded. They do not question you about it. And they immediately give you the money back for that item. The same if you get like a damaged item or if you get like nasty produce, they will immediately refund you the money if you request it, and it's super easy to do that. Now, this next one is actually something that in all of the times that I have done it, I didn't notice it until this past holiday season, and I have no idea what it was, but I would go, because when you order groceries, you pick a time slot and you tell them like you're going to be there between 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 or whatever, but you have an hour time slot. And your groceries are supposed to be ready at the very beginning of your time slot. Now, it was both the week before Thanksgiving and the week before Christmas, where I'm assuming a lot of people are getting a lot of groceries. They missed my time slots on both times and they didn't tell me until like the beginning of my time slot. And I typically do my time slot to where like if I am going to be there at 4, I will do my time slot between 4 and 5 as opposed to doing 3 to 4, because if something pops up and I'm running a little late, I don't want it to be past my time slot. Nothing happens if you're a little bit past your time slot, but I just don't like to do that. But I would go, and so like I said, we have to drive like 20 minutes to go pick up groceries. And so we would leave and we would be almost there, and I would get a notification that would say your groceries are delayed up to 2 hours. Now, both of the times that this has happened, I have been with my husband. And my husband is not a patient man. Like, he doesn't have a temper, but he's not patient. If you can be both. Like, he just gets annoyed at things like that. Like, and then he holds a grudge. So, like, it was late the first time, and he was like, I'm never coming to do grocery pickup ever again. But then like he went with me again. But anyways, so it didn't fail that both of the times that this happened to me, my husband was with me. And the first time I got it, it was the week before Thanksgiving. I got the notification, your grocery pickup order can be delayed up to 2 hours. And I was like, whatever. The reason that my husband went with me is because there were things that I didn't do in the grocery pickup that we needed to go in the store to do together. So we were going into the store anyway. While we were doing our shopping, it was probably 20 minutes late into my time slot. I got the notification, your groceries are now ready. And I thought, okay, no big deal. They were still ready within my time slot. It really wasn't an inconvenience to us because we were doing stuff in the store anyway. I didn't really think anything of it. Then comes Christmas, and I should have known, like, in my head when I was picking the time slot, I was like, the week before Thanksgiving is when they were running late last time. Maybe I should do an earlier pickup time, and then if I'm late, it's fine. Cuz like I said, if you're a little bit late to the time, they don't put it back. They don't put the groceries back right away. I'm not sure how long they'll hold it, but I think I've been like half an hour late before and haven't had nothing happen. You can also call and tell them that you're running late. That way they don't put your groceries back. But anyways, I had like I had in my head like maybe I should order a little bit early. And I didn't. I was like, "No, it'll be fine." It was like a one-time fluke thing. So again, we leave. My husband came with me because there was some stuff that he wanted to get for Christmas that again, he didn't tell me to put in the grocery order. My husband's really bad about that. Like I'll be like, "Oh, what do you want from the grocery store?" And he'll be like, "Nothing." And then I'll submit the order and like 2 hours later he'll be like, "Hey, guess what I need?" And then that's when, I make him go with me because, you should have thought about that beforehand. If you want it, you can come get it. But anyways, that's a tangent. But anyways, so again, my husband was with me. We go in, we pull in, and there were tons of cars in the line. And I was like, okay. So we were a little bit early to my time slot. And I was like, okay, again, doesn't matter. We have to go into the store and do things anyway. So we go in, we get our things, and I didn't even pay any attention. And it was like 45 minutes into my time slot, and I got the notification that my order could be delayed up to 2 hours. So this was like already most of the way through my time slot, and we were already almost done with all of the things that we needed to do in the store. And so at this point, like, it was ridiculous. So we go out, and so we got we ordered the groceries to pick up from 6 to 7, I think. It was like a later one. So we go out. It's like the end of my time slot, and we're just parking in. And I was like, okay, like it said after 2 hours, like we're just gonna hang out. And which already like was kind of ridiculous because I could have just canceled the order and went in and got the groceries, but like I hate grocery shopping this much, you guys. Like I was willing to sit there for like an hour for them to bring me the groceries than to go into the store that I was just in. Like it's ridiculous, okay? Like as I'm playing this back, I know how ridiculous this was. We waited there for a few minutes, and they came out and they delivered the groceries to the lady next to us, and her time slot was from 3 to 4. It was 4, like it was like 7 o'clock, okay? And they were just getting to her grocery order. So again, I thought maybe she was late. Like they told her it was going to be 2 hours delayed, so she didn't go. And then like she had to come that late because she missed her. You know what I mean? Like I thought that maybe it was just like she couldn't get there the 2 hours late when they said it was ready, and like when she was there now is the soonest she could get there. So we still waited, and we waited for like an hour, and finally we called and got through to the call center, and they hadn't even started packing any of the orders for my time slot. And this is like an hour after like my groceries should have been done. And so we ended up going, we came back home, and I had to go get them the next morning when they were packed. And at that point in time, I was like, I am never ever doing grocery pickup the week of a holiday. I can't just cut out, like I can't just say like I'm never gonna do grocery pickup because like I said, I hate grocery shopping. But that's like my like grocery pickup horror story is like we made this special trip and then I ended up having to go back the next day. It was just kind of a mess. And so probably will not do grocery pickup the week before a holiday. And if I do, I'm gonna put in like a 4 hours early time slot because I don't hold a grudge. So like I'm probably gonna order from them again during the holiday week. But anyways, just keep in mind that there is a possibility that that can happen and it's a pain in the butt and it's really annoying and it's super frustrating. But like, I mean, that can happen in like all the different things that you can do. So like convenience typically outweighs the annoying factor of the fluke things that can happen. And so now, after that long tangent of a story, the last con that I have for doing grocery pickup is there are a lot of times when you can go into the store and they've marked things down. You don't see those prices or see the things that are on sale when you were doing grocery pickup. You can see like the weekly ad sales, but I'm talking about the things that are like when they mark them down because they're almost expired, like the bulk bin type things. You don't get to see any of those things. And so if you're trying to be super, super frugal and try to get things super, super on sale, or you stock up on things when they're really on sale, things like that, you can't see those unless you actually go into the store. So there are times when I do specifically go into the store to look for those types of things. But typically the money that I save by not going into the store and impulse purchasing outweighs the money that I save on the items that are on sale. So this video was actually longer than I was expecting because of my little tangent of a story, but those are my list of pros and cons for grocery pickup. I personally think that grocery pickup is worth it. Don't recommend it before a holiday. I just don't. Because also, like, if they miss your time slot, then sometimes also when they're really busy like that, they can miss something or they'll be out of stock in something because certain things get purchased more during a holiday. So honestly, don't say that I can recommend going the week before holiday, but any other time, I absolutely 100% think that grocery pickup is worth it. Also, if you do grocery delivery, it doesn't necessarily matter as much if they're running a little bit late because you're not going out of your way to get it. So that's probably what I'll do in the future is just get groceries delivered the week of a holiday. That sounds like a fantastic plan. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you next time. Bye.